Welcome to I Heart Geek.
And welcome to another episode of WandaVision on I Heart.
WandaVision.
We only have one left, guys. This makes me
No.
sad. And this episode kind of made me sad in a lot of ways. And it made me feel really good because we were right. And then it made me feel sad again. So like, oh, I see where I was wrong there. It makes me sad. We'll get to that in a second. I'm Dub. I do things. With me, as always, is Miss Geeky Paige. How are you doing?
Hi, guys.
Then we have Miss Satomi.
What's up?
And the birthday boy himself, Chris Giorgetti.
It's me.
Birthday patient.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome that you actually came in on your birthday to record this. I don't know if that says something about our show or the WandaVision show.
Dedication to WandaVision.
Dedication. It's dedication. Pure dedication.
Because these episodes are freaking fantastic. First things first, what is your overall sum it up in one sentence? What did you think of this week? Let's start with you, Courtney.
It was amazing.
Just amazing.
It was, yeah. Marvel rips your heart out and stomps on it. That's what they do in this
especially
episode.
with that line, which we will get to later.
We'll talk about that line.
Yes.
Well, there's two of them that just, I was done.
Satomi?
Holy Scarlet Witch, Batman.
Yeah.
That was the dirtiest sounding clean thing you've ever said, I think. That was amazing.
I can't help it. I'm not bad. I just sound that way.
Mr. Giorgetti, what about you?
Best episode of the series so far.
Really?
Even though there's one more, they could break our hearts in different ways.
Oh, they will.
Finale.
I promise you they will.
I think that's
But
fine.
it was so good. It was so good though. It's like
let's get this out now. There is a comic strip that is circulating around with White Vision. Spoilers, duh. Okay, with White Vision and what happens in the comic books and I have no reason to believe that is not where we are going. Yeah. In fact, I would almost put money on it.
Yeah.
I even want to know. Don't tell me.
I mean, that's why I didn't send it to you.
Yeah,
I was like, I could prep you guys for the pain, but you know what?
See, now I know
So
there's pain coming.
Oh,
so it's going to be bad.
If they go that way, there will be pain.
I'm not as sure as Agnes being Agatha, but I'm pretty close.
It may happen. Yeah.
That it's going to happen.
You two have been like 60 or 70% right about the entire series so far. So I'm going to trust your word that if there's pain in our future next week, we'll brace ourselves.
Well, I don't think that you should go into this thinking it's going to be a happy ending.
Yeah. Oh no, not at all.
Okay, so let's jump right into it, how we always do it. First things first, there's no song, and Dub is sad. I wanted a
first
song.
one.
Because we're out of
Nope, second one.
Well, yeah, but we're out of the sitcom
the bubble
world.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we're into reality bites.
So I'm wondering if we're going to see one next week. Because we are out of her sitcoms, which we'll get to later, but yeah.
But we're still in the sitcom universe.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe not.
Okay. Scene one, which I thought was very interesting. He goes back to, "Are you a witch?" And she says, "Yes." And in that circle, that was a good thing. She wasn't going to get burned because she was a witch. She was going to get burned for other things. Which goes back to our theory, and we'll talk about that in just a second.
Yes.
This scene was actually pretty powerful, and I think it said a lot. What did let's start with our newbie types. What did you guys pick up out of this scene? I'll start with you, Chris.
Well, Agatha Harkness is someone we should watch a little more closely. Like the fact that she took out an entire cult of fellow witches,
one of them being her mother.
One of them being a mom.
But I noticed her mother had like some pointy crown on her head. Could she be Mephisto? I know she's
No.
You
probably
mean the
not.
pointy crown that kind of looks like the Scarlet Witches?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I was
Or another character in the Marvel universe that we haven't seen yet, who is her sister called Clea?
Which is
Oh,
possible.
no, it's not Clea, Polaris. Polaris.
Yeah.
I loved
Polaris.
sorry. I
No.
loved the fact how they did a really short backstory to establish your correct theory that she's older. She's way older than she is in this universe, and just to see her power, like, just raw, and it was like my jaw was on the floor for the entire episode because I was just blown away by everything. But I'll save my other exciting things to say for when we get to them.
So Toby, what about you? What did you pick up off of this scene?
I honestly think the most interesting takeaway for me was the fact that they seem to be establishing that Agatha is inherently evil. Like, she isn't. They're not, at least in that context, because she was clearly young
Mm-hmm.
at that point. Now she did say she can't control that. The rules would bend just because she was so powerful, but there was that whole line about her saying, "I can be good," and the mom's like, "No, you can't. No."
That's kind of a witchy thing to say. Oh, sorry. Come on, that was funny. Go ahead, Chris.
If I might disagree with you, Satomi, I don't think she's inherently evil. I know. How dare I?
It's your birthday. Your birthday. Disagree all you
You'll
want.
allow it? Okay, good. If we're looking at this on a D&D table, I think Agatha is more like chaotic neutral, in the sense where,
okay, then what
in
would
the sense,
Wanda
because she keeps
chaotic good?
well, yeah, Wanda's chaotic good, and she's like chaotic neutral, kind of leaning towards chaotic evil. But I don't think she's evil, because later on in the episode, she keeps asking her, "How did you do this? Like, how did you learn it?" Like she hinted at it took her years to master the art of witchcraft and wizardry.
But that's to the end. That's to the end.
But
let's wait on that,
sorry,
because that is important, and I do
Yes.
want to hold on to that for a lot of reasons. Okay, Courtney, go.
It's power for her, I think. I don't know if it's the inherently evil or whatnot, but it's for Agatha, and it really shows in this particular scene. It's the accumulation of power and knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that Deb, we talked briefly about it, and I think we kind of disagree about it. I don't think she sucks the life out of her fellow coven members. She sucks their power. She's almost surviving on magic, if you would. So I mean, I think it shows. I think it shows what we see throughout the rest of the episode, but I think it gives us that first glimpse into, for her, it's the accumulation of power, because her mother even says her crime is you stole knowledge that was beyond your age. And that we're in the same scene.
Yeah, no, I know. I want to talk about that.
Okay. So I'm like, yeah, beyond your age and your experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, Deb and I have a theory of what that was stolen, but I mean, she's trying to accumulate more power.
Yeah.
And I think that's also why she's after Wanda, and she keeps asking the question, as Chris brought up, how did you do this?
Yeah. Well, I think I don't know that it's just power, but she took their youth and their years and their very lives away, and she sucked that into herself, because she knew from what she stole, the knowledge that she stole, we'll get to that in a second, that she would need a lot of years to be able to accumulate that. So she took
did that on purpose, though.
Absolutely.
Because it almost seemed like when she was struggling when they first were shooting their witchy laser beams at her, and so she seemed like she was there seemed to be a little bit of a transition rather than I got you all. It was more like okay.
I agree.
So I don't know if she was necessarily expecting or playing them.
Well, I think she
She
wouldn't have
could
done
have.
it unless she had to,
I think it took her by surprise that she could do it.
Yeah.
because of
I
the
mean,
knowledge she stole.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
Well, because she said that
Yeah.
thing about I didn't I'm not guilty of it. It just happened.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, what is the knowledge she stole? And this goes back to last week when we were talking about the library, of the ancient one.
That's the book.
That's the book of the knowledge she stole.
Aw, cool, you guys.
That's what
Yes.
I
It's the
really
book.
believe that is, and that's why I think that's why she, whether it was on purpose or not, that's why she had to take all of their years and their youth away from them, because otherwise she wasn't going to be able to do it.
And do you think that's how they're going to do the tie-in into the next Doctor Strange?
There's a couple more
Probably.
things that I'm going to talk about too.
Hmm.
Because for the listeners, I went back and I rewatched Doctor Strange before this show, before we recorded. And I also watched part of Thor Ragnarok, which is the Doctor Strange scene. So there are some things in there that point to Doctor Strange. If not showing up next week, this is how it all ties into Doctor Strange and the madness of the multiverse, which we know is the next Doctor Strange film.
And I am doubling down on my vampire theory. With Blade and all that. Now, we're not going to see it on this episode. We're not going to see it on this show. We're going to see this in about probably 3 to 5 years. And you're going to see this very book brought back when the Blade universe comes back. And that's because this book is the evil witchcraft side. That's where the vampires would have gotten their first spell to become the vampires in the first place. And I'm doubling, tripling down on that. We're not going to see it next episode, but mark my words, you're going to see this in a couple of years. This very book.
On February 28th, 2021, Wendell W. McGowan tripled down that the Blade universe will come back in approximately 5 years.
That it's going to tie back to this book, to this series. This is where it's going to tie back to, which
But
actually ties back to Doctor Strange.
Can I ask the tie
No.
into the Doctor Strange? Okay, fine.
Go ahead. I'm just kidding.
Go ahead, Satan.
The tie into Doctor Strange, is this because of something you see in the library, like one of the artifacts that are collected?
Mhm.
Yeah. It's at the beginning when he is at Comertage and he's getting books from Wong, from the actual libraries he's learning. There is a moment where we see Wong is talking about the forbidden books, one being the Book of Cagliostro, which is the book we see in Doctor Strange, what gives him the ability to talk to Dormammu and use the Eye of Agamotto, which we know end up knowing to be the Time Stone. But there is a spot, one of the holders, because it's this long hexagonal bookshelf, because each book is in a hexagon.
Mhm.
There's the hex. But one of the hexagons is empty, and that's the one that's been stolen. And so it's very possible that it is the one that Agatha has, and that is the knowledge that they talk about in the coven scene that she took that was beyond her years.
And again, it's not something you have to know, but it's nice to have that. It's the nice little.
You guys so much. Right
increases your enjoyment of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's move on to scene 2. Okay. Agnes is upset that Wanda has all the power with none of the work, and I think that comes down to a lot of it.
But
go ahead.
You gotta back up a little bit,
okay.
Because we got to talk about the rabbit.
Yeah.
Because that starts the scene. Now, Dub and I have this thought, and we've been saying this all along, and I personally, I think Dub's with me on this, and I know about Tommy and Chris. I still think the rabbit is Mephisto. And the only reason I say that is because she says to the rabbit that she does look shocked to meet the real us. She doesn't say she does look shocked to see the real me. She says us, and she says it to the rabbit, who we know is named Mr. Scratchy, and we've talked about Old Scratch being a name for the devil
who ate
multiple times.
who ate a live bird or
The
No, it's the cicada. It
It's
turns
cicada.
out to the
but all the
cicada.
same, rabbits are herbivores, not omnivores, not carnivores. They will not eat
Yep.
bugs.
And did you notice that one of the runes was the one that looks like an M?
Yes.
So as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh.
Okay, so that's just that. Okay, I
And
think we're all on the same page.
Yeah,
We
and that'd
could
be a heck of
wrong.
that'd be a heck of a protection spell
So
right
now,
there.
so now would Mephisto have been Pietro?
No,
No, I have a
Okay.
theory about that. I think, and I'm probably jumping the gun. Deb's going to kill me, but the reason she wants to know how Wanda did all this, and while one is the collection of power, but two, maybe Mephisto is trapped
As a
and he
bunny
can't
rabbit?
Oh.
get out,
of the
and
rabbit.
she doesn't have enough power to do it.
That's a
So-
possibility.
But that's a
So-
random thought. So, and I'm taking us off topic. I'm sorry.
Okay, and,
I think
and
Go
I
back.
do,
the whole thought.
and I this may be ahead, but this is where actually I wrote it because this is when the thought came up. As much as we were touting Agatha as being Wanda's teacher, I don't think that we're out of the woods on that. I think that this is the beginning of it. I think we're still going to see it. And this,
I agree.
I think this is because Wanda doesn't know how to control her power, and who would know how to control that power? Someone that's been doing it for a few centuries that has had to
Mhm.
work for every bit.
Yeah,
Well, and
just 1 or 2 centuries. Yeah.
Just a little.
Well, and
Just
as the
a-
episode went on, you see Agatha start out as being really, really forceful and frustrated. And as she goes, she actually starts sort of grooming is the wrong word, but you know,
No, I think that is the right word.
becomes more finessed, and she becomes more,
Yeah.
kinder again is the wrong word, but it's she's more of a guide. She's more
Yeah,
of a
it's
guiding
as she
hand by the end of it.
realizes
And that's
as
who she was
realizes
in the
that Wanda
comics.
doesn't know what she did.
Yeah.
Doesn't know where she got her power, doesn't know how it happens. It's just there for her. So I think you're completely correct. As we go along the episode, Agatha realizes she doesn't have a clue. She doesn't know how she did any of this. So
Which,
Agreed.
yeah, there's a lot to that. And the final thing on this scene, I believe that the children are
Are
100% real. That Wanda is afraid for the children because she knows that they are not her creation and they are real. She knew everyone else wasn't, except for Pietro.
Except if she so here's my question, because she created Vision. Well, I know we're
skipping ahead,
way
but-
ahead, but you know, she created him in that moment because she can manipulate reality. So actually, everybody who's in Westview has been a real being,
Mm-hmm.
like a real person, maybe, manipulated, maybe, trapped. So then it would sort of indicate that those children were real. And if she can manipulate reality, what's to say she can't,
Create.
spontaneously create life?
No,
And I
I
think that's what she's done. I
Yeah.
think that's done.
and I think Daddy had a big place in it. And her daddy's not
If-
Vision.
Rabbit Dad?
If Mephisto, if we are correct on it, then yeah, Mephisto is partially responsible for the children. But I mean, jumping ahead, we see her spontaneously create Vision again.
Let's wait on that though, because
Okay.
there's
So
Do
things we
you
wanna hit on
think
that.
the stork was like the sort of the Zeus moment? Like, you know how Zeus came as a shower of gold or something?
she's already pregnant though.
At that point. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because she's pregnant at the end of episode 2.
And we don't see the stork until episode
3.
3. Okay.
And I
Sorry,
think
I
we're
thought I
gonna
was
have. I think they're going to answer that. I think that's one of those mysteries they have to answer next week. That's not
This is where
something
the
they can
kids
just
came from.
sit.
Yeah.
It'll probably be something you have to dig at and figure out, but they can't. That they'll at least give us enough information that we'll figure it out.
Mhm.
I
That's
still, not,
Agreed.
I think that was another version of Mephisto, but that's me. I buy into that theory 100% still, no matter how much that some people say that I'm
And we
completely
could be
wrong
wrong.
now.
There
But
could be
yeah,
no Mephisto at all.
which I will be so disappointed if there isn't.
But
Well, they gotta set up a new big villain a la Thanos for the new Avengers that I'm assuming that they're gonna make in like 5 years. So
Well, there's
I
no
think
saying it's not Wanda herself.
I don't know if she'd be.
But that's jumping ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to scene
That would
3.
make me sad, PS, if they did that, because then
Yeah.
it would be sort of like Jane,
Yeah.
and then it's like it's like I read this great article today, and unfortunately I'm spacing on who wrote it, so I want to give them credit, but I'll see if I can find it while we're chatting. But to have yet another female loses control because females can't deal with power trope would just be so
But
cheap. It would
to be
such a cheap
fair with
shot.
that, to be completely and 100% fair, the two women that you can think of that of the comic book history is the Phoenix and Scarlet Witch. Both of these have more power than any man or any human has ever had. So you can't really throw that as the female loses power. It just happened to be that they're females and they got a lot more power than anyone could handle.
Yeah.
Neither here nor there. Okay,
It's Molly Edwards from Games Radar. So thank you,
Games
Molly,
Radar,
for that
yeah.
observation.
Okay, let's jump over to scene 3, which is the Sarkovian apartment, which, hey, you get to see a lot about what's going on.
Can I go back one quick second?
Go ahead.
Before we get there, this is another connector to Doctor Strange. Agatha plucks a hair from Wanda's head in order to manifest the portal that they go through to get to the Sokovian apartment. In Thor Ragnarok, Doctor Strange plucks a hair from the head of Thor to create the portal so that they could find Odin.
DNA and all, yo.
Yes. Mind blown again.
And can we talk real quick about because every time you deal with something that's a magic world, there's usually somebody who's developing what spellcraft looks like in that world. And how much did I love Catherine Hahn and there was almost like a violence about it.
And
it was
in the movements of her.
So
and if you look, she almost, because we all know that Elizabeth Olsen really creeps out her fingers when she does her Scarlet Witch stuff. If you watch, Catherine Hahn is doing the same thing. Yeah. When she's controlling her powers too. They're creeping their fingers out, which is super cool.
Yeah, but I think that Wanda's is more natural because she knows. She doesn't know why she's doing it. She just knows it works.
You know what's funny?
It's natural because she was born a witch.
Yeah. But neither here nor there. Let's just jump.
Maybe witch. Anyways, Sokovian apartment. Sorry.
Okay, Sokovian apartment.
There's Doctor Strange connector in there.
Well, we get to see the connector of why sitcoms. Yeah. You get to see every sitcom we've talked about almost. And that's what she watched as a kid, and that was good. And now I want to say this: the little Wanda in this episode is going to win an Oscar someday. She's going to win an Academy Award. She's got that it factor, and she didn't really have that many lines, but there's something about her that I'm like, she's going to be amazing. I know y'all are actors, but I'm like, she just has that it factor. Just like I was drawn.
Very enamored with the little girl who played.
That sounds so gross, but yeah.
No, but I don't mean it in that way. I don't mean it in that way at all. No. No.
Walking that way back.
Yeah, no.
But no, I think that she is something that's going to be I think we're going to be talking about her in like 5 or 10 years.
The casting in this show and the MCU is so thorough. It's like they just know who to cast.
Everyone is inherently perfect for their role. Yeah. There's only one time that I've ever looked at a Marvel casting in the recent MCU years and gone, no. But everybody else. No, it's the guy who plays Iron Fist.
He wasn't bad. The writers were bad.
Yeah,
but
everyone
let's stay off of that one. Yeah.
They cast beautifully.
So are we ready to admit that it's not our parents on the commercials there, Courtney?
Yeah, I fully admit that I'm wrong because I'm also going to say I was right. She always had power. Booyah! Not that I'm excited that I was right.
I will.
I literally the minute
that's her
the minute,
adopted parents. Sorry.
Yeah, we're still pretty sure that it's Magneto's her dad. But I the minute Agatha goes, well, what I see is a baby witch. Like, how did you survive? And I'm like, I was right. I think I scared Chaplin because I shouted it.
Yeah.
Might have said booyah. But yeah, I was wrong that the people in the commercial were not her parents.
Yeah.
But we were right.
It doesn't matter.
Are traumatic events.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we were 100% on that.
Yeah.
And most people weren't catching that, by the way, guys.
Mm-mm.
Just saying. I'm kind of happy now because now we're getting more reveals when we were right or wrong, and I'm like, this is awesome. I love this.
So now, something I'm curious about that now I'm thinking about, because remember when we did Yo Magic, we were always like, what is going on with that commercial, and the kid in the commercial who's trying to get the yogurt open, when he dies, he looks like the Coven witches when they get sucked dry of their magic.
Eating on Yo Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when they were sent all the volunteers in to touch the Tesseract.
We haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, we haven't?
And
Yeah,
that's not the Tesseract.
It's
not the Tesseract, sorry.
It's Loki's spear. Get it right.
Okay, we'll get back to that. Sorry, backing up.
No, that's actually the next one. So if you want to move on, we can
no, because I want to hit this real quick. When they define shenanigans.
Oh, yeah.
So
what they were.
Oh.
Now, cute and great, but if you go back until someone else kind of, I guess, changed things as they went along, every WandaVision episode was perfect shenanigans for what they described. She created that she wanted a problem every episode that could easily be fixed.
But an easy one because she needed something.
Yeah. And then when other people were involved, then it changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
she
I
needed
thought that was
somewhere
interesting.
to live in her grief for a while.
Yeah. And the Stark missile scene was jarring.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was so heartbreaking when the explosion happened. Like you could almost see it coming, but it took me by surprise. Like I wasn't expecting. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that to happen at all. Like they had the shot of the mother looking out the window to see the gunfight in the street, and I'm like, oh, okay, something bad's probably gonna happen. But I wasn't expecting that, you know.
Yeah.
Or at that moment.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be, later.
Yeah. And the sitcom was still playing.
That's what was so eerie, and so like it was that contrast that was so smart and made it.
And I don't believe that it was actually playing. I think she made it play to keep her mind on it.
I was curious about that. I was because it kept hitching.
Yeah.
I was curious if she was, or at least keeping
orchestrating it. Yeah, I think she was. I think that would the stopping of the missile wasn't her first use of the power. I think that was.
I think the whole 2 days of keeping herself and Pietro alive.
Yeah.
And everything that goes along with it. The hitching of this TV keep playing to keep their minds off it, the bomb not exploding. I think and I mean, then when Agatha yanks her out of there before we can actually see the little girl use her magic, and we know as the audience that she's using the magic, but Agatha yanks her right out of it and yanks us right out of that moment too. And it was a great device that they used.
It was fantastic
to move us along.
Okay, scene 4, the Hydra years. By Hydra years, like the Hydra day. Honestly, I thought it was absolutely fascinating. Let's hear our newer people on this one. Birthday boy, let's start with you. What's your thoughts on that whole scene?
I was like, from the minute she stepped into the apartment until the end of the portal sequence, as I'll refer to it, my jaw was on the floor, and to see how she got her powers with the Mind Stone, I was sitting there just like, this is the best TV I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of good TV, but like everything about this episode was perfect. Like it oh my goodness. I'm at a loss of words of how amazing just seeing just and I'm stuttering because I can't
It's
describe
adorable.
how
This is
how
so
good
good.
this episode was, but maybe Satomi can translate my excitement into actual words with her explanation. Satomi, how did you feel during this scene?
Well, I definitely felt that there was a lot of depth to this scene. So first of all, what struck me was if it's the Mind Stone that gave her power, her interaction with the Mind Stone, was there some sort of imprint that happened between the two that would account for her later connection with Vision? And then
I never thought of that. That's actually really good.
yeah, like there would be that
Good
familiarity
job.
yeah, thank you. And then the other thing
wish
that
I
I
would've thought of
kept
that.
asking myself was, who was the chick? Who was the chick in silhouette? Because that was
It's
reflected in
her.
her eye.
It's her.
That's what I was gonna say.
It's
Was she
her.
seeing a future vision of herself?
Yep.
Is that what that was? Okay.
Well, I don't want to say definitively, but I think.
Or
I mean, I
was
do.
it the mom? Was it Catherine Hahn's mom? With
Or was
the
it the Scarlet
crown?
Witch spirit?
And
I
then does that mean that in a way the Scarlet Witch is another entity that has seated herself in Wanda?
That's too Dark Phoenix.
Okay.
I think that's what they might be going for, though.
I don't know. I think it's her.
I I agree. I think she saw a vision, if you will, of the future and what she would become. See what I
Yeah.
did there?
I
Yep.
like that.
Very good.
Go ahead,
So
Courtney.
I agree with Satomi. I think because we know she had powers. We know she had them before she walked into that room. We've established that. We established it in Ultron when it says in Ultron that they were the only two that ever survived. They even say it. Nobody else has ever been able to interact with the stone than she did. So I think she had the powers, and I mean, even Agatha mentions it. Because she touches it, it amplifies what she has. And I do agree with Satomi. I think it connects her to the Mind Stone, and that's why she is so connected to Vision from the very start, even before he is out of the cradle and he is the Vision. When he's in the cradle and Ultron is putting himself inside, and it's before he becomes the Vision, she can connect with the vibranium being in the cradle. And I think it's because of the latent connection she has with the Mind Stone. I completely agree with you on that. I do agree with Chris too. That is her.
Mhm.
That is her as the Scarlet Witch. That is her future as one of the most powerful beings in the MCU, in the Marvel Universe. And because the other thing is yes, I've been trolling the internet because that's what I do. People have taken that shot and cleaned it up so there's less reflection. It is her, and it is her in her new suit.
Yes.
And
I
I can't wait to see full force
Which you will see this
Elizabeth
week.
Olsen, just full force Scarlet Witch. So yeah, I think she saw her future as the Scarlet Witch,
I also
but
like
she
how
couldn't
when
process it.
they went in to check on her after she touched the Mind Stone, how the TV was doing that thing where it edited the stuff that she didn't want
Yep.
them to see. I thought that was really clever.
Yep. Just like the sitcoms.
Yeah.
So where did she learn that trick?
Does anybody have any theory on the significance of that particular Brady Bunch episode? Because there
I
was
was
the whole,
trying to
remember,
figure
there
it
was the
out.
doll. He talked about the doll is just full of sawdust and stuff. So do you think that's a Vision reference that she would care about?
I think it could be because it's
Mhm.
something that doesn't. It's just what sawdust or rags or whatever. But she
Yeah,
loves
there's
this
nothing
doll.
in.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
the Brady Bunch episode is where she gave birth to her children, so maybe it was in reference to that. Question mark?
Nice.
Wow.
Good catch, Chris. I completely missed that. I
I did
bet you're
too.
right.
I just thought of it now. Like I just
That's
had
brilliant. Yes.
because the things I liked about the first two sequences in the portal scene was getting to see which TV shows they based the
Yeah.
series on, and I just made that connection now. So yay, birthday points to me.
Awesome.
Nice.
I love that.
Extra cupcake.
Okay, let's jump on to scene 5, the Avengers compound. I'm just gonna say like one thing about this, and I'm not going to hit too much, but this is the couple moments that I wanted to see. I want to see a whole series before WandaVision comes, and I want to see Wanda and Vision together being this.
As
I
they
don't
fall in love.
I don't feel like you had it as much as I think we deserved more than we got, but I totally bought into this 100%.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys do the other parts. Courtney, I want you to hit that the writing thing. That is so beautiful.
Okay, let's talk about the line that everyone is talking about. What is grief if not love persevering? And I mean, even the whole speech, I'm probably going to tear up a little bit, but even the whole speech he gives before he says the one line where he talks about, I've never had anyone to love, so I don't know what it feels like. You know, he's like, I've never felt the lack. You know, I don't know. But he goes, what is grief if not love persevering? And Bettany acts his freaking face off in that moment. And it is just, and Elizabeth Olsen, her reactioning to him is just so good too. And in that moment, you see a broken Wanda, but you see the possibility of hope with the love that she's going to develop with the Vision. And it's like, can we stop? I need to hug her.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hug her. And I think in that moment too, I think is when Agatha finally understands to a certain point what's driving Wanda to do what she did and where the power is coming from. And the next scene really drives that home.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Do you guys have anything else you want to add? Because there's something that I want to add to this right at the end of that. But do you guys have anything else you wanted to add to this?
Satomi.
Satomi just wants to cry. Yeah.
It's beautiful. That's all.
The only thing I'll add is Disney better make a ton of money by putting that quote on bumper stickers, T-shirts, mouse pads, coffee cups, iPhone apps, because moment.
And shout out to the writer of the show that this episode.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that moment made me. No, it's okay. That moment made me tear up because I forgot that Paul Bettany was covered in all those prosthetics and all that makeup, and I just saw the humanity of that moment, and it's the words. It was very personal. Like that quote kind of lifted my spirits a little bit because people have gone through loss throughout their lives, and that's something that it just gives people hope. I guess that things are going to be okay, type of thing. I didn't mean to make this
no, it's all good, baby.
Too serious, but it was very human and very emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and to bookend the end of this scene when she comes out, you see Agatha actually show some feelings, and this is where this is who I think she's becoming. Is she still going to do evil crap? Yes. Is she still going to do is she going to be a vile subhuman being or whatever she is? Yes. This gave her some humanity, this moment, and there was just in her eyes and everywhere else there was humanity there. And this is where I think that this is the Agatha that me and Courtney thought we were going to get, or we were getting behind the scenes. Yeah.
Yeah, the mentor.
Okay, so scene 6, the big reveal. First off, she did not steal Vision. That was set up. Now, and I want you guys to think about this one thing: the leaked footage. half the people there knew it was a lie because they were there. That was only for Monica.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, because there were like 6 people in the room.
But the doorman was there.
Yeah, but
He knew what was going on.
The doorman may not have been informed. He might have just been told once she got in there, she wreaked havoc and took him. So I think the only people who knew were the ones who were actually in the room, and they very well could have been dealt with afterwards. I mean, we don't know because Hayward clearly has a sliding moral scale.
Yeah. And I don't think he feels like he's doing the wrong thing. I think he feels like he's doing the right thing.
No, but I hate him.
Or the wrong thing for the right reasons.
One thing I noticed is he never referred to Vision as anything but a machine or it.
I think he has to.
Yeah.
I think morally he has to. Or mentally.
I think he doesn't see him as anything but a machine. I don't think it's morally. I don't think it's ethically. I think he literally sees the Vision as a weapon, a piece of machinery. He doesn't see the human side of it.
Which is what we will get in a minute, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Like, this scene surprised me because I was expecting Wanda to go in there and just destroy the place. And it was also touching, like, when Hayward kind of called them off to let her just, like, see the body for herself. Like, when she was like, I can't feel you, that was another, like, oh my God. She's like, it became real. Like, that's the moment it became real.
Yeah.
But I don't think
that's where the MCU reached into my chest and pulled my heart out and threw it on the ground and let the Hulk do an Irish jig on it.
Now, and I'm going to make you guys feel a whole lot worse about this scene. The haphazard ripping apart of the Vision. I think that they have people there that would be wanting to save every single wire, every piece. That was done for Wanda's benefit to make her react. They didn't need to do all that sawing and the ripping apart. I think that was all done a long time ago. They've been studying this for at least, a year? Probably, or somewhere in there. I'm not sure on the time. 5 years.
5 years ago.
You're going to tell me in 5 years, this is the first time they decided to start ripping them apart and jumping on them with grinders that they bought at Harbor Freight or whatever?
One of the Harbor Freight.
You like that, didn't you?
And I hated Hayward so much is because we talked early about there are multiple people pulling Wanda's strings. And I think that at that point in time, they thought that they had nothing left. Maybe Wanda can do something. I think that he is one of the master manipulators that drove her to this. I think he was perfectly happy with the result that she lost her mind and created this world, because then they were tracking. I didn't want to get guitared out.
Very good.
I mean,
if we have to guitar anybody out, we should do it was Agatha all along.
I mean, honestly, before today's episode, I was like, oh, Dub's gonna have to guitar me out a lot because I won't be able to hold it in. But I've been behaving myself.
I'm impressed.
Thank you. You're doing good.
Thank you. But I do think that, because we've talked about Agatha, we've talked about Mephisto, and then we also talked about there possibly being another manipulator we don't know about, and I think it's Hayward. I think it's that like he was gaslighting her hard to get her to. I mean, not that he knew that she had those powers, but isn't he the one who says something about he says something about her being able to bring him back.
He says that to her.
Yeah, he says,
and that's why they were doing the rip apart. It wasn't. They didn't need to do that. That was literally violent as possible for her benefit.
Yeah,
and he says not everyone has the power to bring their soulmate back online. Oh, I'm sorry, back to life.
Yeah,
I think it also explains.
He thought she was going to get it to happen.
Well, I think that was. Yeah, I think he thought she was going to be able to do it right then and there. Because the other thing is Vision is made of vibranium. So you get a saw from Harbor Freight and it's going to cut through vibranium.
Yep.
But
It was
the
for
other
her
thing
benefit.
is- the other thing is, it really explains when her reaction when she comes out of the dome in like episode 5 or 6, I can't remember, and they're pointing the guns at her and she turns them on him. It really explains it because this is the second time he's held guns on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay, scene 7, which is scene 6, part 2, when she goes into Westview. Now we
more pain.
yeah, but let's
Oh
talk
my
about this
God.
first. Let's talk about this first. You saw a lot of the neighborhood when she was driving around. You saw this delivery guy. He's nothing. He's just a delivery guy. You saw
a delivery guy.
Herb. He's just hanging out. You know who you didn't see? Dottie.
Dottie.
That's the only one you don't see.
There's a few that you don't see, but
That's the biggest one.
She was significantly missing.
She was
And
she
as
was
was Agatha.
noticeable that you didn't see her.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Chris.
I did not notice that until just now.
I love Chris moments. They're my
I
favorite.
still feel that Dottie has to be somebody, and it's only for the sheer fact that they made a giant deal out of getting Emma Caulfield cast,
For
and of course
3
paying
scenes.
her acting. She's had one scene where she said nothing. All we did is see her face. Another where she said one line and we're done. And then the bulk of what she's done is scene 2. She has to be somebody. Dub says Emma Frost. She could be Emma Frost. She could be Polaris, who is a contemporary to the Scarlet Witch, also Magneto's daughter, has similar powers, has a similar crown to what Agatha's mother had when she was blasting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Some people are saying Clea. Clea is a counterpoint to Doctor Strange.
Maybe.
Who knows? But I feel like
She is the one
she
person
wouldn't
at
have
this
been
point.
hyped as much. They could have given it to anybody. They didn't have to cast Emma Caulfield if they weren't going to make her someone special. So I think we're going to see some of her next episode. And if not, I've just been wrong about Dottie completely. So
and we'll take the hit that there was nothing to do with Herb. I thought Herb was somebody. I thought Herb and Dottie were really the only two that I knew of. But Herb, that's disproved.
Herb.
They did hint that he wasn't when last episode Agatha tapped him on the shoulder when he had the hedge saw.
Yeah, I was still holding on hope that he was somebody, to be honest with you. But it is what it is.
I can see.
Let's see. Now we know what the heart meant.
Oh my god!
That seeing that deed and with the exact same heart we saw on the calendar, because everything got changed from something to something else. So the calendar was actually the deed.
The deed.
Yeah. So much pain in that moment.
Yeah.
And in that moment, she became the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Disney in this episode thrice took our hearts out, threw them halfway across the universe, and then destroyed them.
Just got Chris Jenny to say the word thrice in a sentence.
I know.
Yes, that might be the wine that I had earlier this evening because it is my birthday. Drink responsibly, of course. This is a family show.
You're not driving anywhere.
No, I'm not.
We're good.
Okay, but for the
for as much as they made me cry, they also made me do the happy dance on this one because Dub was right. Guess what? This vision we've had the whole time wasn't our vision. True, he's not out of the multiverse, but I'm still going to take that one as a win.
I think I said that too. I think I said he wasn't our vision as well.
Yeah, he's and he wasn't. And that's cool. Yay, high fives to Chris.
High fives. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was really interesting that he was when she had that break, it all came from her heart. All of that power came right from her heart. And it's love, exactly. So that new vision was very much a product of that love. And regardless of what happens with, what we're going to talk about with the credit scene, I do kind of hope that her heart vision sticks around.
He's obviously morphed into something else.
He's not.
Because he has
Because-
consciousness.
Yeah, he's got his own consciousness now.
But he can never leave the
knows-
bubble.
Yeah, and I mean but that's because she created him.
Mm-hmm.
The things that are in the bubble that she created can't come out. But I think we may see a change. We may see something change in the next episode. Unfortunately, I do think, I mean, I don't want to spoiler it, but I don't think he's making it out alive.
I don't think so either.
I hope I'm wrong. I
I'm sure you're right. I
really
hope you're wrong.
hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong because this vision is wonderful. But
we could also see a merging of the
Yeah.
two, which is possible, and we get a green
yeah,
one.
there's that.
There could be the
there's
green
that.
vision instead. But we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, back to the
mean
real world.
There's more than one vision. There's
There's-
more than one.
Yes. There's
Yeah.
more than one.
It's
I'm
Well,
asking because I don't know the
they're
comics.
all
Yeah.
the.
Yeah,
the
there is.
Skittles of the
I can say that.
MCU.
Yes. Yeah.
You
I can say
taste
that.
the
He's the
rainbow.
Skittles of the MCU. I love it.
West Coast Avengers. Read it.
After Clone Wars.
Yes. We have so much for you to read. This is fantastic. Okay, let's
I
go
still
back.
have to get through Fables. Stop giving me assignments.
Let's go back to the real world again. Now we're caught up. Yeah, I thought the scene with, at first anyway, but until she has the kids, I thought she was pretty sympathetic in that, honestly. She was cruel, but she was empathetic at the same time. And there's something that
Which
just very
scene? Are we talking outside the
The
house?
in the studio before
In
they
the
go
studio.
outside.
Thank you. Okay.
Agatha clapping in the studio audience.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought that was empathetic as much as she can be at this point. And again, this goes back to, I guess quadrupling down on my theory now that Agatha will be the teacher of our mentor eventually. Yeah.
And how great that they said it on a sound stage.
Mm-hmm.
Really sort of laying bare the words, but just the theatricality of it all, and the
Yeah.
fact that it's just a big production.
Mhm.
It was just done so beautifully. This show is so smart. It's so smartly written.
Yeah.
I love it, and I'm excited that it's one season, so it never will jump the shark.
Yeah.
Mm.
I 100%
And-
agree.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, I mourn the fact that it's coming to an end, but
Yeah.
I'm excited because if you've got this level of writing, and then they take that focus and put it to another facet of the MCU, I think we have a shot at them actually creating a whole series of something spectacular, because this is exceptional.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think we're going to see this going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope so.
So going outside, when they go outside, first off, and I don't know if anybody else noticed, Agnes does not look like her, or Agatha does not look like her at all. She's very CGI. She looks like she's 15 years younger. The angles on her face are bizarre. And it's not like she's CGI. It's like that was an intentional makeup job that they did like that. And I don't know if there's a reason for it. And my other note on this, and I'll let you guys discuss after this. Once again, I do think the kids are real, because otherwise they wouldn't be the marionettes. But I don't think Wanda would care as much if they were just her creation and not real.
Something big happened in the last line of the episode is, "You are the Scarlet Witch."
You are
This is
the
the first
Scarlet
time she's been referred to as the Scarlet Witch. And she
Yep.
says something about chaos magic. Should we pay attention to chaos magic?
Like we've been
Yes.
saying since episode 1, yes.
Yes. That's where Wanda, in some iterations, that's where
Most.
Wanda gets her powers. It's also where the
Mm.
Phoenix gets her powers. So that's where Jean Grey and the Phoenix gets her powers. So the two of them are chaos magic entities. That's why the Scarlet Witch and Jean Grey are kind of considered neck and neck, arguably the most powerful beings in the MCU or in the Marvel comic universe,
Mhm.
because they just have all this wealth of power.
Well, which again is what when we talked about it earlier that you and I disagree on. That's why I do think that Scarlet Witch is its own entity. I think they're doing that. I think they're doing it for the MCU. That's not comic at all. So this is me taking a stab in the air. I feel like that's its own entity.
How do you mean? Can you clarify that?
No,
The Phoenix in the X-Men, the Phoenix entity is Jean. There's Jean Grey, who is a powerful being, but then when she becomes the Phoenix, it's because the Phoenix entity enters her.
very much a symbiotic.
Yeah, and they
thing.
merge.
Okay.
Yeah,
into one.
So
So-
like I was talking about earlier, that when I was wondering if the reflection was something coming. Okay.
And I think
Yeah,
I think you're right on that, but it could be wrong.
And you guys could be. I mean, I could be completely wrong. I think
I have no
I
idea.
think
It's just
she
conjecture.
is. I think she is a Nexus being. I think she being Wanda, the Scarlet Witch. I think she is a Nexus creature. She is a chaos magic creature. She is a mutant. She is not. There's not the Scarlet Witch, and then
But,
because
yeah.
and part of what makes me think that is she talks about. Well, Agatha mentions that she said you're supposed to be a myth, a
Which-
legend.
which
Yeah, I
would
was
be
gonna
the
ask
Here
entity.
you are.
Is that
That's
a
why I think it is.
prophesied creature? Is that something that's, or it's just
Maybe.
Okay. We don't. We,
We
there's
don't really
something
know,
you
honestly.
guys don't know.
There's a
You
lot
know
we don't know.
There's a-
everything.
I got another. I got
counting
another
on you.
Doctor Strange connection for you.
Okay.
Do it.
The bands that she uses to hold the children,
Yeah.
are similar to the bands that Doctor Strange uses to hold down Thanos in the Infinity War when they're trying to get the gauntlet off him.
Yes.
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 So I have a
Nice.
question.
Okay,
Yes.
fire
I
away.
have a question. Are we going to see them throw down next week?
God, I hope so.
That would be
You
cool.
mean Agatha and Wanda? Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna
I
see
don't think-
Scarlet. I think we're gonna see Scarlet Witch and Agatha throw down, and I also gonna see. I think we're gonna see Vision against Vision.
I'm wondering if we're going to see Agatha and Scarlet Witch team up against
Maybe.
the greater evil.
I
that
think we're
is
gonna have to. I think that's what's gonna lead into the next.
Don't forget, we
movie.
still have Monica.
And where's Rambo? Yeah, where's
Monica!
Monica?
Monica!
Where is she?
Well, you're not gonna hear it. Save that. This is all. Next week is going to be so action
Yeah, I
packed.
think we'll see. Yeah,
And
Super
by
excited, you guys.
by the way, listeners, we are planning on going way past our hour time next week. We're trying to keep it this week, but next week we're definitely gonna try to be pushing.
We're gonna talk.
We're gonna talk.
We're gonna talk.
We're gonna wrap
get
up
real.
everything. Okay,
Oh my
Mhm.
so
God.
let's move on to our final scene, the post or mid credit scene, I guess.
yep.
White Vision does not bode well for a happy ending. You're not
He
gonna
does
get
exist
it.
in the comics. For those who don't know, he
West
does
Coast
exist in the
Avengers.
comics.
This is what we're discussing.
It
He
looks
is.
bad.
It's
Mhm.
there'll be a tier 10 or 20 or
Dang
1,000.
it.
Yeah.
Will I
Um,
throw something at my TV?
Yes.
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 Make sure it's something soft.
So
Okay.
Those
Get
like-
you bushy,
And I'm saying
fleshy.
this. We could be wrong, but prepare yourself for
Prepare yourself for the worst. Prepare yourself for the worst. One thing I will say really quickly is since this show has started, there has been a rumor. It was on the cast listing in IMDb for a while, and it's gone now. It is a listing of James Spader as the voice of Ultron. It's very possible when we hear Vision, the White Vision, speak, he may be Ultron.
Could be.
It's not. It could be Bettany. It could be Spader. I'm just
I will
throwing that
be-
out there.
I will be
because
upset if we hear that.
I just want to acknowledge the fact that it has been rumored that Spader was going to be in here as the voice of Ultron. We haven't heard him yet. So if anything, if it's true, the White Vision, when he
Could.
speaks, it won't
Could.
be Bettany. It'll be Ultron.
But Ultron's dead?
Ultron's a robot.
Ultron's
And-
an
Yes.
artificial intelligence.
Ultron's a-
that was going to
Ultron's a
feed himself
consciousness.
in that robot. Yeah.
He's like Vision. He's a
Oh,
consciousness.
Yeah.
I
Now
would-
Oh, that's not
Ultron's
good.
body died when she reached in and pulled out his heart and crushed it. the final Ultron body, but we don't know where the consciousness was. Now, he was blocked out of the internet completely. He had nowhere to run to because Jarvis was able to do that.
And
But
with-
maybe he was like living as a little subroutine in Jarvis
Yeah.
be.
But I mean, the other thing is the James Spader thing could just be a pure rumor that somebody
which we've seen that happen.
and
a couple of
somebody on
times on
IMDb
this show. Yeah.
messed up and just put it in the, because it's not there now. If you go into the cast list, it's not there in the cast list now.
Of course, they did the same
So-
thing with the Evan Peters thing. That,
Yeah, Evan Peters was also not in the cast
but
list.
I
for
don't
either.
want to know.
It's true.
I
No. We
I don't
shall
want to
see.
know.
Now the Evan Peters
And
thing.
Hayward is a pain in the ass.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Agreed. We do have to talk about the Evan Peters thing though, because she did say she didn't do reanimation magic, but she did do another form that was like mind control. Was it mind control? So
Crystalloon premonition.
so
Yeah.
it's still a possibility that
The multiverse.
the multiverse.
She also said that
I'm holding
it-
on to that for dear life.
she says it wasn't her, only the eyes and the ears.
Yes.
So I think Dub's with me. He is Quicksilver from the X-Men universe that she brought in because she couldn't reanimate
Pietro, because he has holes.
the bullet-riddled Pietro that she knew. So she went and grabbed him and then used his eyes and ears to find out what she could about Wanda. And Wanda bought it because she said, Agatha even says that you were so clouded by your own grief that you just believed it.
Yeah.
I could be wrong too, but I do think it's him. I think that's how they're merging the universes.
And guess what, guys? That's a show. I have to cut us off now. I'm sorry. We have so much to talk about next week, and I'm so sad that next week's going to be our last with this panel for a minute. And it makes because I love you guys so much. So check out the Facebook page. Talk to us. Go to the Discord if you like the spoilers. Talk spoilers on that page. Don't do it on the Facebook. Do it on the Discord only.
There's a special room for that, kids.
Yep. Do the share us with a friend, subscribe, do the YouTube thing, comment. Share us with a friend. It means the world. We love the comments. Do our Patreon because we have even more stuff going up every day. And until next time, I'm Dub. I'm here with Miss Geeky Page, and I'm here with Chris, and I'm here with Miss Satomi. Keep on geeking on, guys. Have a WandaVision day.
You have been listening to the latest episode of the I Heart Geek Show. Make sure you visit our website at www.iheartgeekshow.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you check us out on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And keep on geeking on to all of you geek rock stars.